Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. So, I just heard that CVNY is coming out. And do I have that up? Kind of. Okay. So, it is based off of Carvana, and it's going to be a single ticker. And it is my honest opinion that we can just let YMAX have it. You do not need to own this by itself. And the reason why I am saying this is if you look at the IV of this, it's going to be around 45%, between 40 and 50%. And it's not going to be like an AMZY that does that. It's going to be probably more like a Murney, in my opinion. And the reason for that is, well, Carvana has shown a lot of momentum in the last few years, but with the policies of our new administration, it might adversely affect the automobile industry, and I am not the most studied of the people around that. That's just what I've been hearing, so we don't know. So it's fine as a part of a fund of funds being in there as a diversification thing. Like, we don't really, besides Tesla, have much in the automobile industry in YMAX right now. But if it's going to be low IV and it's going to tank because of policies that are being anticipated, maybe we don't need to be owning it as an individual ticker. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. And yeah, not everything we don't have to own everything. It's just, when you think about it, like LFGY and GBTY, they're going to be a basket of 15 to 30 stocks. So these will be better investments just overall. So I'm okay. And it's also not an ulti. I checked. It's doing so poorly, and the IV is not high enough for ulti. So I don't know if it being an ulti is a benchmark for us to get into a fund or not. But I just added Soxy and Biggie to YieldMax's finally. I don't know why, but I'm just not interested in them, so it took forever. And then it turns out that for Maxi, I did have it in my spreadsheet of funds, but I didn't have it in the website for some reason, so it's there now. So if you don't know, this is my website that I've made, and I'm going to continue to work on it. But like, if you have $60 to invest this time, this week you would have gotten 83 cents from LFGY, or $3.59 monthly. And you can just go down, and this just illustrates, based off of the last distribution that I've uploaded, that this is how much you would have made. And the premise is, like, there is some fluctuation between each distribution, but usually, like, ulti pays around 100%, so it's always going to, well, for the most part, always pay around 100%. It's not like ulti pays 100% this time and then pays 30% next time, and it's usually not that big of a difference. So if you want to, at a glance, see if I put the same amount of money in all of these, what would I get? And this isn't the only tool that you should be using to do your research, but it is a tool that can help you get started with your research. And if you click on it and you click on the title, you can get taken to the website where you can get all of the information. And I was asked yesterday about Marto, So if you go into YieldMax ETFs, and I just motto, and then if you go in here, it's in this list that they have been refusing to alphabetize for us so that we can find it. But oh no, I wasn't asked about Motto. I was asked about YMAX. So if you go into the fund of funds and you go into YMAX and you go down to the fund of funds, you go to the holdings and you scroll at the bottom, there's a download all holdings, and then that's where you can see if Motto is inside of YMAX already, and usually it's after the first time they've paid, and I believe that they do reconstitute monthly, but I could be wrong about that. But I checked yesterday, and Motto is a part of YMAX now. So I've said this a few times, but Misty is hard to incorporate in any of my strategies because I don't want to take something that's distributing over 100% and put it into something that's distributing 20% and then put something that's doing 20% and put that distribution into Misty. Doesn't make sense. Misty's a beast, and I want to only use other 100% or more distributions to play and do a dividend wheel with it, which, I mean, there's not much of a choice out there to do that with and it not be a complete dividend trap. So, but with Motto, it is around an 80% distribution, at least the one time. So I'm going to be very curious about what the distribution is this time. And I mean, 80% is more than what you would get with YMAX, but is it enough more than YMAX or LFGY for me to want to continue to own it by itself? Because this time you would have $3.86, but with LFGY you would have $3.59. And since LFGY has 15 to 30 stocks in it at any one time, LFGY being an index is usually the safer bet for not having crazy price swings, at least traditionally. With YMAX, you never know because the fund managers do put their strike prices closer to the money than I would have, and therefore they lose the bet more often. So it's hard to tell if it's going to move with the underlyings or if there's going to be more NAV erosion than if they just concentrated on one stock. So who knows? But yeah, now that we've talked about Carvana and how I just don't think you need to own it, and Yield might, let's talk about Financial Philharmonics. And I am recording this earlier in the day than normal, so we have Ride in the Bollinger Bands, which is a jazz song that someone said that it sounds like it was in a 1980s movie called Trading Places. So it's just really fun. And if you've been wondering how Bollinger Bands work, that's actually kind of educational. And then both YMAX and YMAG is a pop song. And if Misty King of the Yield was the season 1 opener, this is more like the season 3 opener. But I don't know what anime has YieldMax songs in it. So there's that. And then the one that's coming out at 6 p.m. tonight is called SoFi's Electrified, and it exists because Suno was being a jerk about pronouncing SoFi. And so I made a song that just had SoFi written a bunch of different ways to figure out how to get Suno to do it. But it's actually really catchy, and it's Bhangra inspired. And I've been listening to it on repeat on my playlist, so I recommend it. So are you excited about Carvana, or are you just going to let it go back to the YMAX and it just bolster up the fund? Because honestly, having something that's a 50% and not, not very volatile. And YMAX is good because it is a different industry than most of the other things that are in YMAX. So if another thing besides Carvana goes down, maybe it'll bolster it a little bit up. So diversity, I always celebrate, but I just don't want to own it as an individual stock. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.